Hi everyone, welcome to this video for the 25th weekend since the initiation of lockdown in the UK. Although saying that, it sort of feels like it might be coming again. Birmingham is the latest region area to that's going to be locked down again, I think, on Tuesday. Yeah, and obviously I think from Monday everyone's limited then to mixing with 6 people maximum. So yeah, it's a reoccurring nightmare. It's how it feels at the moment, but I hope you're all keeping safe. And always plenty to do in the shack with regard to radio. Now this weekend I'm going to do some testing on my end-fed wire for top band. Well, I've done a video on it already. I've significantly increased the height of it, as you guys know. It's now above the point at which the house end or the receiver end is above the apex of the roof. And as you guys know, I made some adjustments to the earthing system, effectively the ground radials. I added 2 quarter-wave ground radials for 80 meters, and on the sked last night, it didn't really. These adjustments haven't made much difference in terms of how I'm being heard, but that's kind of normal because there are so many variables. I was hearing as well as I've been heard the previous week, and then we QSY'd to 80 meters, and my match was perfect. Called in, no problem at all. But it was quite a long list. I think there were 13 or 14 of us again on the sked last night, and so I called in, and when it was my turn to actually to complete an over, my signal was way down. Now I could see I knew my signal was down because as I was speaking into the mic, I was looking at the forward power on my MFJ ATU, and I could tell that it was about roughly half of where it should be. So and I didn't immediately know what the problem was, so I quickly called back to the controller, which is Roger G0AOZ, and I asked him if he could hear me, and he said he could. And so I went down the list and gave my reports, but what I found was when I handed back to the controller, he reported me as about 5 and 8, and he normally hears me as S9 plus 10. So my fears that there was an issue were confirmed, and my strongest signal was plus 10 from G0CQZ Nigel, who's only up the road in Whitney. But he would normally copy me plus 20. So I checked the match again, and basically in the sort of 25 minutes or so, 20-25 minutes that I'd been sort of waiting for my turn, my match had sort of drifted off completely. It was so bad actually that I checked it out with my antenna analyzer, and although there is a bit of adjustment between the antenna analyzer and what you see on the MFJ, it was 99 ohms impedance, so it was way off. So obviously I did the obvious thing, basically rematched it perfectly, no problem, and then as a sort of fine tune, used the auto tune on the 7300, which works really well, and waited patiently whilst I was getting fairly poor signal reports. So 5 and 8, 4 and 9, 5 and 7, 5 and 7, 5 and 3. I mean, I was being heard okay, but my signal's way down. 5 and 9 actually by Matthew in West Berkshire, and then but the guys living closest to me, sort of 10 over. But obviously signal's way down from what would be normal. And then once I'd come round to my turn again, then it was all changed. So it's back to plus 10, plus 10, plus 10, 5 and 9, 5 and 9 plus 10, plus 20, plus 15 actually, by Sean, reported me, Mike 3 Sierra X-Ray Victor. He's in York, so he reported me as plus 15, and Harold Mike 3 Oscar Papa Whiskey in Dorchester, he reported me as 5 and 9 plus. So all is good. And interestingly, we had a little the discussion continued after Roger closed the net, and I was copying Sean M3SXV from York. He was only using 8 watts and I was copying him plus 20. So I cranked my power down to 8 watts and he was still copying me as 10 over. So that kind of confirmed that there wasn't actually anything wrong with my antenna system. And then since last night, I've just given it a quick adjustment. It had drifted a little bit and all is good. So I'm not sure whether, I don't think there's a problem with the actual antenna itself, but I'm definitely going to run a couple of tests with my friend, Jeff, M0UHF, just to make sure that all is good today. Very, very strange. Not sure what happened there, but anyway, luckily there was a lot of us on last night actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 13. So you do sit around for 20, 25 minutes waiting for your turn, which is fine, but a little bit frustrating when you've just when on your previous over there was a clear problem. So all is good. What I thought I would do actually is compare this wire, this end-fed wire, with my G5RV. And this morning, just to give you guys an idea, I'm still on 3710, and there is someone transmitting, and this is on my end-fed wire. And then what I've done is I've connected my G5RV, properly matched both radios, to my IC756, and just listen to the difference here. So a fairly weak signal, but you can hear him. And then on the G5RV, really barely audible. Just put the noise reduction on both. You can hear how the noise reduction on the 7300 works much better. It kind of warbles on the 756. Mind you, I'll turn it down. Anyway, so there you go. So there's a sort of comparison between my end-fed wire and the G5RV on 80 meters. And a big difference. I'm getting the signals on that homebrew £4.50 antenna way stronger than the G5RV, and the same goes actually on 40 meters and 20. This end-fed wire is working really well, and as I said, I'm not sure what happened last night, but I'll have a test today just to double check it. And these are the sort of things that sort of do happen from time to time, and the performance of an antenna, RX and TX, changes for me with the weather. Well, when it was moisture, at least anyway, which that definitely changes the performance. It changes the ground system, and it changes how the antenna loads up. Actually, I find when it's wet. But overall, I'm very, very happy with that antenna. So that's really good news. What else am I doing? Just coming back to the FT817. So what I've done, I actually bought a power pole for it, and I've already fitted it. I'll just show you. You can see it there. I didn't know such devices existed, but on one of the Zoom calls with one of the guys at Harwell, John, he's got one of these radios, and he strongly advised it because any kind of like tugging or sort of mechanical sort of pressure from the power socket plug, basically, that plugs into the socket, can damage the board that the socket is attached to inside the radio. And so to remedy that, these little mine looks like it's been 3D printed, but it's fine. And what you do is you unscrew the the screw that attaches the earth tag, and that screw then basically attaches the power pole, which has got the plug for the power socket sort of built into it. So you end up with a sort of mechanically very robust sort of connection when this thing's powered on the mains. So that's good. At the moment, I've got a set of Duracell batteries in the alkaline AA battery tray, but I've ordered a replacement battery. Both are NiCads, were basically stuffed. So I've ordered what I thought was a lithium ion, but thankfully not. It's a nickel metal hydride battery pack, which is a direct replacement for the NiCad. You can put it straight in the radio and the radio will charge it, no problem. That wouldn't be the case with a lithium ion battery. It was really cheap. It was like 12 quid or something. And on the recommendation of Jeff, I've ordered a replacement power supply, basically. So this isn't, you know, at the moment I've got it running from one of my Nevada supplies down there. That's not very handy if you want to go on holiday and take the radio with you. So I've ordered a little power supply from eBay. Neither of those items have arrived yet, but that was $19.99. So that's all good. And then the next thing to do, of course, at some point, is to look at how to increase the power with a little portable linear amplifier. There are some really small, sort of 40 amps, and there are some pretty small 100 amp power amplifiers that you can that are effectively portable. So but yeah, still a great buy. Still enjoy using it, still making QSOs with 5 watts, and what a great little radio. And I know I keep harping on about it, but it was a steal at 275 quid. And if any of you saw the video that I produced a few days ago with the audio, I mean, the audio on this little radio is 1 watt power output, but routing it through this Bose SoundLink Mini 2, it sounds amazing. I mean, it literally sounds like, you know, like a sort of desktop radio. So you know, I am really pleased with it, and going to look forward to. I'm going to go portable at some point, that's for sure. I'm just going to go back. Signals have picked up here.
He was awake at 2 o'clock this morning when he.
So this is my end-fed wire.
And he thanks everyone for their good wishes.
And the G5RV.
A message to Henry and to Red. Okay, I'm not going to hold it too much longer. Check now. I come down the list and I'm going to call it a morning. DW4 Delta Whiskey X-Ray Mike, if you're still by, we'd like to try a final.
I mean, just talking of good audio, the 7300 audios I find is superb, literally. Really, really good indeed. But yeah, again, you know, just point in fact that the performance of that end-fed wire is a lot better than my G5RV. But I'm going to keep the G5RV because it's quite. I use it for FT8 more than anything else now. It's quite good for that. There's no reason actually why I couldn't use my end-fed wire for FT8. Maybe that's another experiment, another day or another weekend. I've not actually done any FT8 with that end-fed wire at all, and it is definitely performing better than G5RV. So that would actually be that might be worth a try with the FT991 at some point. Don't know if any of you noticed, but I did an Airband video recently. This is my Yaesu Yupateru MVT 7100 scanner. It's a great scanner. Every time I use it, it makes me wish I'd never sold my ICOM IC R20, which felt like a much higher quality, which felt like a much, which felt like a.
Come up to parking base 3, it'll be the first bay on your left, there will be some light aircraft already on that bay.
Yeah. Which felt like a much higher quality radio, but this is super. This is a superb scanner. At the moment, I've got it on 123.725, which is the Bryce Norton Tower comms frequency, and I've been obviously working from home, and I'm on the sort of flight path over Bryce Norton, and I was in the garden the other day, and an aircraft came over, and I thought it was an Osprey, one of these vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, but I think it was actually a Skyvan, so I took a couple of videos of this Skyvan, and then I sort of inspired myself. I thought, well, actually, do you know what? Yeah. There you go. While I've got the opportunity, I'm going to do a few more Airband videos. I'm quite lucky actually. I've got at the moment the Yupateru is just plugged into my X300, which isn't really not an ideal antenna, of course, for Airband. but no doubt will work better than the telescopic whip that came with it. So I'm going to try and do some more Airband videos. They take a bit more time because you basically you have to. It's more interesting, I find, if you can actually do it with a sort of with the plane in view, as I used to before. In fact, I'm going to go to Flight Radar 24, which some of you Airband enthusiasts will no doubt be very aware of. Okay, where are we? So Oxford International Airport, that's basically Kidlington Airport, which is there. And then you've got Bryce Norton, which is there. And without giving too much away, I sort of live between those two. I live between those two airports. And a lot of the sort of touch and go manoeuvres that they do at Bryce ends up with aircraft flying over my house. As I said, I saw this. I think it was a Skyvan. I actually used Flight Radar 24 to kind of confirm what it actually was, yeah, I thought it was an Osprey, but I don't think. I think it actually was a Skyvan. Yeah, no, I'm kind of. I do like listening to Airband, as some of you will already know, and yeah. Some people would complain, when you've got military aircraft flying over your house, basically, every sort of like 20 minutes, half an hour, a jet comes over or an aircraft comes over. Some people would not be up for that. But I actually quite like it. I've got triple glazing, so when I'm indoors, you can't hear anything anyway. But I actually love aircraft, and I have no problem at all with these aircraft flying over my house. And I'm going to do a few more videos, actually. I think I've got one of the Skyvan with some tower comms, but I've definitely got a couple of videos without it. And I know that some of you are into aircraft, so even though there may not be any radio as such with it, I'm going to do a video. Well, I've already done the video. I'm going to upload the video and publish one or two. So I'm gonna have another bash at monitoring Airband and see where that goes. That's about it. So here we are, another weekend in lockdown, weekend number 25. I keep saying it, but we're so lucky to have this hobby that allows us to keep busy at home. Thank goodness the weather's been nice. The last couple of days actually it's been really nice. I've actually been sat out in the garden. It still feels like sort of summer's here today and yesterday and the day before, actually, which is really great. I can still remember when my eldest daughter was 7 or 8, flying a kite on a lovely sort of breezy summer's day in I think it was like the middle of October. So I keep hearing that we're going to have a hot September, which would be really good. So that would be the squelch is just. Yeah, so anyway, keep safe, everybody. Thanks for watching. Listen to the radio, experiment with your antennas, and I no doubt I'll talk to some of you via the comments on the channel. 73, everybody, and thanks for watching.